Hi, I'm Avery,
I am Lily.
and how about I shuffle the functions of every hole on your face?
Hmm.
Yeah, so for those of you who are worried, that was a quote from Bill Cipher in one of these episodes. Because today we are covering Gravity Falls Season 2. This is part 3 of our.
The final
Uh,
part. Congratulations, guys.
Congratulations, yeah, we're covering Weird Mageddon, which is technically a 4-part finale because of the way it's divided up. Lily has a lot of opinions on the fact that they split the hour-long episode into 2 parts, which is something Disney pretty much always does whenever they release a large special like that. Like, they did it for Star versus the Forces of Evil too, except it was split into 4 episodes because it was a 2-hour-long special. But
Yeah,
they do
my
it for
main
simplicity. It makes it easier to rerun the episodes, and it makes it easier for streaming services as well.
yeah, no, my main gripe with it was that it was never supposed to air like that. And they did leave out one a revamp of the Weird Mageddon intro with all the original characters. Like that's just gone now forever. Where is
Oh
it? No,
well.
gone.
Oh well.
Disney Plus should pay for their sins.
See, that's the thing though. It wasn't necessarily Disney Plus because they also did this to make reruns easier on whichever channel it was on. I don't know if it was Disney XD or Disney Channel, but probably Disney XD.
I want to say that it was done for Disney Plus, mostly because of the weird and probably shoved in it last time on Gravity Falls. I don't know. It's just that just left me with a bad taste in my mouth.
But anyway, at the end of this episode, we're going to be spinning a wheel to determine what TV show we're going to be covering in 2 months. So look forward to that. We only have a few TV shows that are even on the wheel at the moment. So um, if Amphibia finishes soon, Lily can finally get it on the wheel.
Yay! Yay!
Owl House is probably going to finish first. Let's be real. The second part of season 2 is coming in like a week.
Actually,
Although
I
by the
do
time,
wanna
but actually by the time this episode comes out, Owl House, the second half of Owl House will already be out.
oh
You
shit.
still You still haven't
Amphibious.
watched. You still haven't watched the first half of season 2 of Owl House, have you?
Nope, but also Amphibious season 3 part 3, yeah, was announced. God damn it. When will the second half of season 3 be announced?
Oh,
Because sources are absolutely gay.
okay.
Okay, it just says to be announced. Wait. Oh, March 19th, 2020 is apparently when the 10th episode is supposed to air.
You know what's funny about that?
What?
That's also when the Owl House is coming back.
Oh shit.
So, something I was interested in, like this finale for Gravity Falls, it left room for a sequel series set in the Arctic,
Hmm.
and it's something I didn't recall them doing. Some other
No.
things I probably wouldn't have said any of this last night because I only really thought of it this morning. But There are some aspects of Bill Cipher as a villain that I just really don't like.
What
Um,
about that?
Basically, we don't really, get the sense of Bill Cipher being the end goal until pretty late in the show. It's a weird contrast because, like, a lot of other shows, especially Avatar: The Last Airbender, because that's what I'm going to compare it to. Um, in Avatar: The Last Airbender, we know that we already have an enemy, the Fire Nation, and later we will learn about the Fire Lord. And it will be obvious that the Fire Lord is like the final bad guy that they gotta defeat. With this show, it's not like there's some large antagonistic force the entire time. Bill Cipher rarely gets the chance to display his power. Um, and having him being defeated multiple times does kind of cheapen how powerful we would think he is.
Though obviously he wasn't powerful during those moments because of his limitations.
Yeah, it's just it makes him feel weaker as a villain, and I'm less invested in seeing them take him down because what has he really done?
The
I
entirety
mean,
of Weird Mageddon,
no, like what
the
has he really
nightmare
done?
of children's.
What has he really done before Weird Mageddon? And obviously, we know the past with Stanford, but we don't find that out until like 2 episodes before. Um,
I feel like it's more of like Bill Cipher is much more powerful if he gets what he wants. And obviously, once he got what he wanted to, he became that much powerful.
yeah, like this is certainly a pretty okay finale. I just think there are some things like there are some aspects of Bill Cipher that really don't work for me.
Hmm.
And then another thing. Okay, so we got to start with Dipper running around in the apocalypse because that's where this whole thing starts. I can't remember what all he
The
does, but
apocalypse.
I do know he's like trying to contact Mabel through a walkie-talkie, and he isn't able to get in touch with her obviously because she's in a prison, but we don't know that. I mean, but he doesn't know that. Um, he eventually like breaks into a mall, and Wendy and some other people are hiding out there. Wendy's the only important one.
Now it's the other important one, their sacrifice.
But yeah, so they start making their way to Mabel's prison because they notice the giant prison thing with a shooting star on it, which was like on a lot of Mabel's sweaters and junk. And on the way, they get captured by Gideon.
Hmm.
This was a weird one for me. Um, First of all, Wendy's a badass, and that is amazing, girl boss. Um, but then we have this weird speech from Dipper, which like completely turns Gideon over, and I'm like, all right, if he could really change his motivations that easily, it kind of cheapens Gideon as a villain too. Um,
I mean, it was defeated multiple times. I mean, what?
I mean, I'm glad Gideon wasn't the final antagonist because he would have been a worse final antagonist than Bill Cipher. And Bill Cipher's not bad. It's just he's not great. He's a good final antagonist, just not a great one.
I think it's a great one. And it's because of the medium where he's presented in. This show would not be a show that would have like a big threat at the beginning of the show, and then slowly try to work towards beating him.
Yeah, it just feels a bit weird. And I think I'm wanting the show to be a bit more serially structured than it is. Which, to be fair, probably worked in its favor because we now see what Disney does to serialized shows on their TV networks. They cancel them.
Why do you think shows like Phineas and Ferb did so well on Disney Channel?
Phineas and Ferb did so well for a variety of reasons, but it not being serialized was definitely one of them. But it never set out to tell a story either, which Gravity Falls did. But anyway, I mean, there's not really too much to say about this particular episode. But yeah, they steal the key from. Well, they don't really steal the key. They actually get like the key to the prison that Mabel is locked in. Like gets given to them by Gideon. Um, or actually,
And
no, they do steal it. Wendy steals it, and then there's the speech.
mm,
Um, but yeah, oof. Then we get to that episode. This episode, focusing entirely around Mabel, is the perfect storm of why Mabel is just not a great character. She never learns from any of the previous episodes she's been in. She just acts selfishly the entire time. And Mabel Land is by far one of the most aesthetically eye-painting experiences I've ever seen. I do like that as soon as they got there, Seuss made an Aladdin reference. That was cool. And then there was that disturbing scene of like the fake Wendy, which just yuck. But anyway, yeah. So basically, they journey into Mabel's prison, and surprise, it's a fantasy world made up of her desires. And God, her desires for Dipper are fucking weird and wild.
I mean, she definitely has some weird fantasies, so I'll give her that.
Yeah. Um, it's just kind of disappointing. And then the trial is very strange as well. Because Dipper breaks the one rule of Mabel Land, and he mentions reality. And eventually, he gives like this 3-minute long speech, and Mabel like decides to leave. There's no acknowledgement of what she's done though. Like
Hmm.
because in a way she kind of caused Weird Mageddon as well. And there's no acknowledgement of that. There's no acknowledgement of the fact that she would rather have stayed there. Um, I mean, her selfish behavior just goes completely unpunished. And I'm not, like, unpunished and unacknowledged is the better way to say it. I don't know. This
Yeah,
episode just really didn't do it for me.
just
It didn't hit
just
right.
rubs you the wrong way,
Yeah. And, like, I'm not alone in that. A lot of other people felt the same way. I'm trying to think. There was a video on YouTube where a guy was describing Gravity Falls, and he, at the end of it, he was like, seriously, is Mabel just going to get away with all that shit? I can't remember. Like, those were his exact words, but I can't remember who the video was or what the video was called or anything. But yeah, then after breaking out of the prison, they make their way to the Mystery Shack. And I'm not sure if I'm getting into the next episode or not, but whatever. In the Mystery Shack, we finally see a lot of returning characters. For Weird Mageddon, they strangely bring back as many things as they could think of. They brought back the Gobblewonker. They brought back the weird flashlight that can change the size of things. They brought back the multi-bear and the manitars. It's kind of wild how much they brought back for this finale. And it kind of and you know, the amount of characters in this, it kind of reminded me of the Day of Black Sun. Because like the Avatar: The Last Airbender finale didn't really bring back that many characters, except for like the Order of the White Lotus. But the Day of Black Sun brought back almost everybody within the Avatar universe.
Day of Black Sun, but they didn't fail.
Yeah, pretty much. It's the Day of Black Sun, but they actually won. It's also like during this time that Bill Cipher kind of discovers that he can't leave Gravity Falls
because of a weirdness portal.
Yeah. And there's also like the fact that he's got Stanford being held hostage and is trying to get him to reveal this equation that would break down the force field. But anyway, we get back to the Mystery Shack, and Grinda and Candy and Pacifica and so many other characters are all there. Pacifica barely has a role in this. I guess she is one of the 12 Zodiac, but I mean, she's just kind of there. And she's wearing a potato sack, which is funny that they comment on it. And she's like, hey, even in this, I still look better than you.
Yeah, whatever you say, Pacifica. Wait. I feel like that's a reference to something. Or it could just be a complete coincidence, because I remember someone told someone that, like, oh, they only look good and, you know, get all people buy all these magazines because, you know, because of the clothing. And then they did a photo shoot with a potato sack and still got amazing,
oh yeah, I think I remember seeing a news story about that. It was funny. So yeah, I've already talked about how I thought the Zodiac thing should have been in the book, and the copy should have come into play. Having it be like cave writings makes it seem like Bill Cipher, like there's a lot more lore to Bill Cipher that we just don't know about.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of how you wanted it to be portrayed.
Yeah, but like not ever learning about that lore is kind of weird.
Not entirely. Also, Gravity Falls, the show being ended, has opened up a lot more for more lore to be discovered.
But yeah, anyway, they figure out like the Mystery Shack is the only place in Gravity Falls that is protected from Bill Cipher's weirdness, so they decide to turn the Mystery Shack into a giant robot to go attack Bill Cipher.
So, you know what Patrick said in that one episode? They are literally doing it. They're taking the Mystery Shack and pushing it somewhere else.
Oh, God. Why don't we just take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else?
That idea might be so stupid to get us all killed.
But yeah, oof. Yeah, so turns out the Mystery Shack is protected because of that unicorn episode that we talked about in our previous
Unicorn are
It,
jerks.
yeah. Also, if you haven't listened to part 1 or part 2, they'll be linked in the description on YouTube. And also, if you're listening to this somewhere else, just go back to the playlist of the podcast and listen to part 1 and part 2.
I swear I upload these.
Yeah, we totally have them uploaded right now at the time that we're recording this. Never mind that they haven't even been edited yet. But yeah. Whew. Okay, so they move the Mystery Shack, and they're surprisingly competent in piloting this weird mech suit. Which I guess McGunkit has had experience piloting mech suits.
Interesting. Old man, you want or I guess we can now call him Philford.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call him McGunkit. But no, he's definitely had experience because he was piloting the Gobblewonker.
Oh yeah, but I'm just like Philford. Where else would you get all this experience?
But yeah, I'm not sure if it's here, like if it's in Weird Mageddon or earlier that we learn about Fiddleford McGunkit's past with Stanford.
I believe
I believe it
after
was actually in the Society of the Blind Eye.
yeah,
No,
but
it couldn't be because Ford wasn't.
no, I believe it was in the third part finale that when because they were trying to rescue Stanford, and that's when they made up. Unlike two other people that didn't make up.
Who?
The entire plot, Ford and Stan couldn't make up until Bill
Okay,
Cipher.
you just made that really unclear. But yeah, so eventually they've managed to incapacitate Bill Cipher for a brief period of time by ripping out his eye. Um,
I think he just punched it.
no, they literally ripped out his eye.
I can't remember.
Um,
Anyway,
but anyway, so they start working on like building this Zodiac, and it like requires a lot of characters. It requires like Pacifica to be there. It requires both Stans, Mabel, Dipper,
they
Seuss,
all have to do.
Wendy. They all
All they have.
literally all they have to do is hold hands, and
They fuck it up.
yeah, or more specifically, Stanley Pines fucks it up. And it's just so frustrating because um, what ended up happening because of that could have been entirely avoided if Stan hadn't, lost his temper over something stupid.
But that was able to get them over the 1 hour mark.
But yeah, so Bill Cipher discovers them doing the Zodiac and turns most of the other characters to like
I want to say like banners.
banners, whatever, tapestries, whatever you want to call them.
Anyway, and then Dipper and Mabel get this one last hurrah, thinking that they can, help everyone. Spoiler, they didn't do much.
Yeah,
But
I
it
mean
was a good distraction.
they did spray something into Bill's eye, and it was kind of funny.
Oh,
Uh,
that was funny.
yeah, and Mabel was like, "I know that hurts because I've accidentally done it to myself several times."
I feel like it was spray paint.
Yeah, just like, ouch. I wear glasses, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Um, Honestly, I just never put spray paint in my eyes because that sounds dumb.
I mean, to be clear, like Mabel said she did it on accident.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, actually, to be fair, I also don't work with that type of paint, so
yeah, and also like the wind could very easily blow it into your eye as well.
okay. But also, this is the same Mabel who tried to kiss a
Merman.
no, the leaf blower.
Yeah.
And I can say it's the same Mabel because she doesn't grow.
Yeah, she doesn't. Neither does Dipper, to be fair.
To
Um,
be fair, but then again,
but
Dipper has less.
Mabel's flaws are far more egregious than Dipper's.
And in a way, he does grow out of Wendy.
No,
That's something.
no, not really. The finale makes it pretty clear that he hasn't.
I mean, apparently everyone else wants to reenact this crush, but at least Dipper himself understands. And
Like he
I th-
understands that he and Wendy can never be together, but it's not like he's shut. It's not like he still doesn't like have a crush on her. Like it's
hmm.
pretty clear that he does. Especially with that awkward scene in Mabel
Oh, I
Land.
completely forgot about the live action thing that they did in that episode.
I think I remember seeing some weird live action segment.
Yeah, when they were going through the weirdness bubbles.
Yeah, that was before we even got to Mabel Land, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if it was in. I forget if it was in the Mableland episode
No, it was before
or
it.
okay. I definitely know it was before they opened Mableland, but I can't remember what was actually in the episode.
But yeah. So the Zodiac of course doesn't work. And Bill Cipher even kind of like Bill Cipher even makes fun of them for it. He was like, seriously, all you guys had to do was hold hands.
And this is also why I love Bill Cipher. He's a riot.
I mean, to be fair, it was kind of funny. Just like casually roasting them, and then like he makes the Zodiac impossible to complete because he freezes like all the other characters. And I do want to talk a bit more about the Zodiac because originally in Disney Plus, like when Disney Plus first launched, the symbol on Stan's hat was not there, and it made the finale a bit weird. Um,
Mhm.
to have him like not know where to stand. Like I don't know. It the symbol is how he knows where to stand in the Zodiac. It's
Also, the symbols are why
thankfully Disney Plus does have the symbol now.
yeah, you can actually hear Bill Cipher's calling everyone by their symbols. Shooting star, pine tree,
Yeah. There was
and
actually that really interesting moment where earlier in the season where Dipper thought Ford was possessed by Bill Cipher, and Ford almost called him Pine Tree.
I mean, Ford. When Ford almost gets possessed, he knows how to sell it.
But it's just like kind of funny because that makes Dipper even more suspicious, and it's like, yeah, of course, Ford would know that Dipper is the pine tree.
Yeah, but also the fact why the hell would he call him Pine Tree?
Yeah, that's the funny, weird thing. But yeah, so Dipper and Maber, yeah.
Maybe.
Um, I think I made that mistake in the last part too. Dipper and Mabel don't really manage to do much of anything except get Bill Cipher away from Ford and
The
Stan.
twins.
Yeah. Well, they are the twins. Yeah, they've
The
got two sets
twins.
of.
Yeah, the twins got Bill Cipher away from the twins.
Yes. Um, two sets of twins. How? Yeah. But anyway, they managed to get Bill Cipher away from Ford and Stan long enough for them to like come up with a plan to defeat Bill Cipher because basically Bill wants to go into Ford's mind to get this equation, but uh, he has to shake his hand first. Um, and it has to be like from the way it's described and stuff. It seems like it has to be a consensual handshake in order for it to work.
Yeah, Bill Cipher needs to make a deal.
So they do your classic twins switching places trope, and um, because basically their plan is to have Bill Cipher enter Stanley's mind and then erase it with the memory gun. And that wouldn't work for Stanford because of a metal plate he had installed in his head that prevents the memory gun from working. And the memory gun was from the Society of the Blind Eye episode. And it kept getting brought back. So obviously it was going to have a role in the finale. But yeah. So this plan like actually works. And Stan loses his memory and they defeat Bill Cipher.
And then
Except,
Stan got his memory back.
and I have a problem with that.
And would you believe me that there's lore behind this?
If
Because
there
apparently
is lore behind it, it's not explained within the show.
nope.
And
So the memory gun. You know how when you actually delete things on your computer, you're not actually deleting them? That's kind
I
of how
mean,
the memory gun works.
yeah, but that's not really explained within the show.
Yeah, that's why I'm
and
explaining it now.
and I have a problem with it. Because it kind of cheapens Stan's sacrifice. Like his sacrifice has less weight to it because he just like immediately gets his memory back. Like I think I would have been okay if like at the end I think it would have been okay if like at the end of the show he was still like trying to recover his memory. Because like it would have made his sacrifice have more meaning in my opinion.
So the memory gun apparently, if you try to recall memories back from like freshly wiped brains, they can slowly, come back. So if any of them started mentioning Bill Cipher, he could have come right back.
Yeah, it just seems kind of like it just feels like the sacrifice doesn't have much weight because of the way he recovers because it's like almost immediate. And it's like you don't even really get time to feel sad about it either, um, because of how quickly he recovers his memory.
Oh, and I just remembered something. Bill Cipher turning to stone. Because Gravity Falls did something very interesting. They put a bunch of clues leading to a real-life Bill Cipher statue.
That's weird. I don't remember anything about that,
Oh yeah, I
to be
did
honest.
quite a bit of research after it was all over.
Yeah. So, I think this finale could have been better, but most finales can be better, let's be real. It was still a pretty good finale. Um, Gravity Falls is easily a top 5 cartoon. I just don't think it beats some of the other really, really great ones. Um, so, with that being said, do you want to rate this season of Gravity Falls now, or do you have more to say?
You know, that's a bit hard to say. Also, we haven't really touched on the ending, because I
I
do
mean,
kind of like it.
you mean
Especially how
where
what?
Dipper and Mabel go to California, and they take Waddles
Yeah.
with them, and Stan and Stan go to the Arctic on the Stan of War. Um, Seuss takes over the Mystery Shack, and it was actually kind of funny when his mom showed up and was like, "I'm gonna move in immediately."
So, and you said something about a sequel to Gravity Falls, and or you know they could have continued Gravity Falls or something like that.
Yeah,
And that's basically Alex Hirsch would never want to do that because to him he wanted to make a series and just get out. He didn't want to be like SpongeBob or other shows that stay past their welcome.
I don't know why he even. I don't know. It just feels kind of weird to talk about the weirdness of the Arctic and not follow up on that with something.
I mean, a lot of things are left to viewer interpretation.
No, there's no interpretation here. We just know they go off to investigate it. We can't even speculate about what happens there.
I don't know, a giant monster comes to attack them. The
And you base that
Bermuda
on what?
Triangle.
I mean,
Actually,
for
the
all we
ending
know,
credits.
nothing happens. It'd be kind of funny. Or plot twist: there's a second Bill Cipher.
Shit.
But yeah, I don't know. What was Wendy's final thing? Did
Oh,
we?
when he gave Dipper a letter or note card or whatever, and it was like, see you back next year.
Yeah. Which to me is a weird thing because, like, why would they be back next summer? Because they don't have an uncle there, and their parents were sending them off to their uncle.
I mean, an entire year goes by. I think, their uncle would, you know, go back to Gravity Falls.
I don't know. It just to me it seems a little bit weird, but hey, it's kind of nice. Did we see anything from Pacifica at the end?
Yes, being broke.
Oh, that's right. Um, and then McGunkett gets the mansion.
I love that. I love how just Fiddleford just, like, buys that fucking mansion. Really, really making his way up in the world.
And apparently he even gets his memory back too. But
Mm-hmm.
that one feels more earned than Stan's does. Cause like he got some memories back over time. It wasn't like immediate.
Which feels kind of weird because enough time should have passed until his memory should have been gone forever. But whatever. I'm not going to argue with its own lore.
But yeah. Anyway, so now do you think you are
I think
ready?
so. And you remember we gave it on the first season, right?
Yeah, we both gave season 1 a 7.0.
Mm-hmm. I think season 2 has earned a whole point. Maybe I'm trying to see it may even more. You know what? 0.2 more. So 8.2.
Really? That's interesting. I decided to give this season an 8.8.
Interesting.
Um, it certainly could have been a lot better, and that's why it doesn't get into the nines.
Mm-hmm.
The characters still don't learn anything except Stan. Oddly, um, Stan is the only one. Stan and Pacifica. Um,
Pacifica learns to be broke.
well, she learns to be a better person too.
Meh, she doesn't really reflect that during the apocalypse.
Yeah, but she's barely
Through
there in
her
the
very few
apocalypse.
lines.
Yeah, she's barely there in the apocalypse. It's kind of, but like the mansion episode is really where she shines the most.
Anyway, and something I did in the first episode, first season episode, and just did not do, is all the end cards, and I'll, at least karaoke one is actually pretty interesting. The man downstairs is very clever. Can he hide his plans forever?
All right.
Um, Old man sleeping in the green can't help but wonder what he's seeing. That's
All
for
right.
episode 3 in Golf Wars.
It's weird these are longer than they were for season 1.
Yeah, no puppet strings can hold me down, so patiently I watch this town. Abnormal soon will be the norm. Enjoy the calm before the storm.
Okay then. Are these
Um,
like puzzles that people had to like figure out
yeah,
or
like
were
these are all, at the end credits, it's a cipher, basically. Susan the real girl, winning hearts by daylight, possessing robots by moonlight. Her emotional baggage is a real freight. She has the one name, Giffany. Well, they stopped rhyming. Oh, all animation is black magic.
wow, okay.
Oh,
Did we
Society of the
even
Blind Eye.
talk did we even talk about that episode?
Yes. Well,
Okay,
we didn't talk about what happened in that episode, but, like, we briefly went over it.
I just want to say when cuz like I don't remember us talking about that episode. I just want to say that when Mabel started shapeshifting the giant monster into like a giant star, it kind of reminded me of Starfy.
Actually, here's interesting. Society of the Blind Eye. Gideon's trauma, misspelled tattoos, Sandra's reactions, society views, a fear of witches, a life of regret. These are all things that they try to forget. Interesting.
Yeah. So
I'm just, um, oh shit. Northwest Mansion is very interesting because it's just three things without spaces. Stan is not what he seems. Stan is not what he the seems. Okay, no, Stan is not what he seems. Stan is not what he seems. Stan is not what he seems.
okay.
Episode
Uh,
11, 30 years and now he's back to the mystery in the Mystery Shack.
all right.
A stubborn, tough New Jersey native, Philbrook wasn't too creative. Having twins was not his plan, so he shrugged and named them both Stan. That that explains a lot.
I mean, twins do often have similar names, um, so it's not really that surprising.
Fun and games are a great distraction, but small things can have a chain reaction.
Was that the Dungeons and
Yes.
More Dungeons episode?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Be wary of whom you belittle. Big problems can start out of whittle.
Okay, so that one brought back Gideon.
In Cypher's game, he needs a pawn. Be sure to know which side you're on.
All right.
I'm actually skipping that one because it's not actually interesting. The prophecies seem far away, but finally we've reached the day. Give up the past, embrace the strange. Everything you care about will change.
All right.
We're beginning part 1. Game is over and I won now. It's time to start the fun. I always love corrupting lives. Now let's see which pine survives. We're beginning part 2. Escape from reality. When one gets trapped inside the past, dreams can turn to nightmares fast. And then Weirmageddon, Tape at the Falls, first card. 10 symbols placed around a wheel. Hand in hand, they'll bond the seal, but break the chain and pay the cost. The prophecy will all be lost. The second card. Faded pictures, bleached by sun, the tales told, the summer's done, and memories the pines still play on a sunny summer's day. And the credits. Goodbye Gravity Falls bus. Hidden deep within the woods, a buried treasure waits, secrets lost and statues found beyond the rusty gates. That was the first puzzle for them finding the Bill Cipher statue.
All right. So all right. So now I think we're going to go ahead and spin the wheel to determine what TV show we're going to be covering in 2 months. So yeah. And so you're going to be pleased.
Infinity Train? Infinity Train?
Yeah.
Infinity
It's
Train!
Infinity Train. Yeah, so we're going to be covering Infinity Train in 2 months. So look forward to that. Given how short the seasons are and like how short the episodes are, we probably won't have to cut the episodes into multiple parts.
Yeah, probably not, but I mean, they're so good episodes. Love them.
So yeah, until next time, I've been Avory, and that's been Lily, and we will see you.
Matt Bulock.